Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me for the lending report on April 25th, 2025. Big week or big night last night. Oh God, sorry, just blinked out all of a sudden. Big night last night with the NFL draft. Don't know about you. Congratulations, Travis Hunter. Happy to see you moving on. Hopefully you can do something good with the Jags. Not all surprised that Shedeur Sanders didn't go anywhere, but we'll see what happens with the next couple of days in the draft and what happens with him. Then hockey, playoff hockey has started. Love my Blues, and last night was a really good game. Really happy to see how they played last night. They're going to need that 2-day break for Sunday's game with all the hitting that was in that game. It was insane. But anyways, let's get into mortgages and what's been going on. Start with mortgage applications. Purchases down 7%. Refinances down 20%. Not very surprising based on what happened with the MBS markets and interest rates over the last 2 weeks. Probably people got a little gun shy with that roller coaster ride that we've been on. Jobless claims, those filing for the first time, up 6,000. Continuing claims down 37,000. And let's get into some slides for you. Existing home sales for March of 2025 did show that month over month they were down 5.9%. So there were some alarm bells going off about that. Really, this is not concerning. This has been normal for March over the years. But you can see that it is the slowest March since 2009, but that's okay. Median home price was at $403,700 for the national number. Do bear in mind, Colorado, their median number is closer to $650,000. Just depends, again, where that spread of sales is. If we end up with higher home prices selling or lower, that really dictates that median price. But median home price up 1.7% month over month, 2.7% year over year. So this does suggest that higher priced homes are selling more. An inventory at 1.3 million units. That's a positive increase of 8% month over month. Year over year, up 20%. That's good, but we're still not where we need to be. Clearly, we're at a 4-month supply right now. A normal market's 4.6. And then the days on market did drop. So homes moving a little faster. It bumped up to 42 days in February. Now we're back down to 36 days. Now, when I talk about pending home sales and the alarm bells that kind of went off, here you can see when it comes to pending home sales, 13% of pending home sales fell through in March. All right. And there was some talk that this was really disconcerting, but it's not. If you look over the past couple of years, this is where we've been for the last 3 years. It was only really high in 2020 when the pandemic hit, everything closed down. We did have some, when rates were really low the following 2 years, that came down a bit, but not a lot of properties falling through. But in the last 3 years, this has been the norm, somewhere in that 13% range. So there really is nothing to be concerned about there. Now, one thing that we've talked about, I have talked about for the past couple of weeks, are signs of economic slowdown. There are some indicators that we could be going into a recession. Hard to say. There's some people say that we're already there, but this has been the case for the last year. Some people say we were already there. Some say, no, it's never going to happen. Others saying, oh, it's inevitable. But there are some indications out there right now. We are seeing that when it comes to shipping, this is a big indicator when it comes to sales, because if there's less shipping being done, that means there's less product being purchased, therefore less being sold. So that has gone down for large trucks, down 6%. And then the cancellation, the highest that it's been in 20 months. Also some other signs that we've seen, blank sailing. So what that means is this is where the containers going out of the ports, that is what blank sails are. And this has actually dropped to 30,000, or from 30,000 to 370,000 containers. So that means in a 6-week period, that many containers that were scheduled to go out are no longer going out. So 300,000 to 370,000, huge. That does speak to the fact that we'll see less inventory out there. This could bring supply chain issues. I know we've seen this in certain companies already. So just interesting to note there, because there's not a lot of attention paid to shipping. Auto sales down 3% in quarter one. This could be because of the tariffs. People don't luxury items, luxury cars, not wanting to pay the added cost for those luxury cars, but that activity is down. Housing starts down 11% in the month of March. And then we are seeing that right now, the top 10% is who's buying right now. So the top 10% of wealth earners are the people that are actually making purchases at this time. And there's less government spending right now because of Doge. Some other things to consider is that tourism is down 20% year over year. We are seeing the airlines, they're saying their business is slowing as well. And even companies like Pepsi that sell products like soda and chips, which are typically lower cost items, they're kind of redesigning their forward thinking guidelines. They're seeing a slowdown there, and these are the lower cost items that aren't selling. There are some concerns there. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now let's go into the MBS markets. We can look at what is going on. This past week has been good. Now we hit a high back in April 4th. We're not there, at the start of the month. We're making up ground. We've made up about 50% of that this past week. So next week is probably going to be really important because we've got some big information, important information, market moving information coming out next week. GDP, the first reading for first quarter of 2025 will be released. PCE, the personal consumption expenditures, that's a big indicator for the Feds on inflation. That's our favorite measure of inflation. And then we also have Jobs Week. We've got BLS coming out on Friday, and all those things tend to be big market movers. So next week could be pretty volatile for the market. So it would be interesting to see how everything plays out. I appreciate you listening. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Hopefully the weather will bounce back. It's been kind of dreary and overcast today. I'm expecting a little rain, which will never hurt, but definitely cooler than it's been. Have a great weekend. See you next week.